So it's like, just like we'll assume something might happen with this. Let's see if since I got the camera on, maybe the camera will simply translate onto live stream. Might as well experiment with that, but it doesn't look like it's happening. So I don't know how to get the camera going on live stream. And we can figure this out maybe if we can get some other people to participate, unless you figure you can figure the studio out. And let's try the YouTube, see if we're going to appear simultaneously on that. I just might be on for a few minutes, do an extremely truncated show,
Right.
explaining to people that, what happened, and it was cause for extreme disappointment. But we're going to try. Now, I don't understand why the new picture is not coming up. I didn't upload any of it into the YouTube channel. So what I need to do is take a picture of it and do that. So at any rate, let's stop sharing screen for a few minutes. And in the meantime, hope everything's going well with you. Remember, we're live streaming, so don't get too private. Let me see if I can get some kind of
Right.
picture going up at all on this thing. And in the meantime, you can keep people occupied, tell people about little things going on in your life that you're willing to share with the public.
Right.
I guess my sharing that your dog is in heat is not one of them, but
No,
or did that end?
actually, I'm not. Yeah. No, I'm just pretty much has been a regular work week, but just been with as far as work, what I've been hearing from my work is pretty much the whole industry right now that I'm working on is is still kind of rocky in the sense of not being stabilizing like it was pre-pandemic. I did not know this though, but I didn't realize the Koreans are very much they corner anything in the industry.
Wow.
One of the Cathay guys that was telling me was that Asiana Airlines actually went bankrupt. Not necessarily the airline, but I guess the parent shareholder,
Hmm.
and I guess the Korean Airlines pretty much bought them out. And one of the things they told me is Koreans are very much they don't let no one corner the market in the sense of people bid on anything to do with their area. In other words, if we don't get a piece, then you can't fly, you can't come into Korea and do business. So they pretty much right now are trying to compete for pretty much the mainstay of at least where I'm at. Uh, One of the other airlines that move a lot of freight is DHL. Um, but Korea's aggressively just trying to. And then what he was telling me, they've been trying to expand their logistics as far as freight forwarding for a long time, and right now they're pretty much making their move, which was interesting. I didn't realize Koreans were very territorial like that. At least, it's just I don't know.
I think
It's
this
something new to
this
me.
sense of aggression was probably engendered by the pandemic. That
Right.
they might have always been aggressive in a certain sense, but I think this business aggression definitely the
Which was interesting.
okay.
I didn't
Right.
realize.
There we are. We got the little echo there. So we've got some people with us. Everybody throw in your upvote, and we'll try and add some other people to the call. Now that we've got the image changed for tonight, I'll try and put on a little, shall we say, fuck, I guess. What am I going to say? See if I can get some other people in the conversation. And aside from all of that, Sammy seems to be turning on his camera.
Oh, I'm just seeing. Just check. My finger must have slipped or something because I'm not even. Or maybe my face has gone fat. I don't know. Something pressed it. So
Oh
who
my
knows?
god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's cute. Let's see if I can ask some people. among our friends if they want to come on.
Right.
I'll ask them the be available question and see if that.
So,
Yeah, go on.
if you don't mind me asking, so are you going to do a mini monologue tonight, or?
Oh God, no! I mean, no shame
Okay.
to do that. I basically did my best by just telling these people, everything that didn't get recorded. It's always the same shit. And
Right.
so then it's always the same shit. Don't blame me. It's like, I don't do this for anybody else. You're special. That's why we don't record you. You're special. You're so fucking special. So
Right.
it's
Right.
it's the same shit over and over again. Past is prelude, and
Right.
it's always again the same shit. It's a passive ambush. So Peter Moon, of course, said, "Well, we're lucky to be on at all. He didn't have to bring us on." Well, it's the same as if he didn't. That's half the show is missing. No one will be able to understand what we're saying without context.
Right.
So it's
No.
yeah.
You're absolutely right. I think this happened to you this happened
Every
to
time,
you
every time.
every time. It's
Yeah.
almost a formality in the sense of you roll your eyes.
Yeah.
My thing is if content creators want to be taken seriously, that's part of real journalism, quote unquote. I'm not saying it is, but
It
you have
should
to have
be
pride in your work.
theoretically, yes.
You have to have pride in your work. I mean,
Yeah.
in the past, when I guess quote unquote journalism was people pride themselves in breaking something.
Yeah.
I remember, like, for example, Watergate, so on and so forth.
Mhm.
These type of events in this nation, it was big. People risked their freedom to to
Risk their lives.
break news. Yeah, exactly. So it's almost it's like, if that's the case, then don't even interview me. In fact, why don't they just do it via Skype? Why does it have to be via Zoom?
Because it's
like,
communist Chinese, and they're
right.
not going to change. It's they got to let the communist Chinese in on it. They think
Of
somehow
course,
that's fucking patriotic. And
of course. It's just that I mean, I've told you my experiences with Zoom when I had to do my training for my job, and we use Zoom. We were blocked out.
Yes.
We were stationed. We had about 4 other stations, including New York and San Francisco, and I believe Louisville and Chicago, and they were staring at us like we were like, "What's going on? Why is LA?" Pretty much, we pretty much had the meeting through an iPhone. Okay,
Yeah.
it was embarrassing, but it was just it's Zoom. What are you gonna do? One of the girls had to break out her phone, and we ended up doing it through her phone.
Yes.
But yeah, it was.
The strange thing about that is you're a company. The reason that happened is because the communist Chinese are effectively occupying Hong Kong, and it's a Hong Kong-based company, and they were
Right.
dealing with the fact that a lot of the people involved with Cathay Pacific actually supported the protesters. So the end result is that they were shutting it down so that the protesters' communications couldn't get out, assuming that many of them were still working with Cathay Pacific. They've since then been
Right.
purging as many Chinese from Cathay Pacific as possible and trying to bring in Filipinos who are simply there for the money. And
that's actually very
Same thing with
astute.
Apple.
yeah.
Apple also was blocking a lot of people from using their apps for mapping.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they're
Good point, though,
they are
Thank you.
they shove over for the communists all the time. So I'm finished. Go ahead.
Thank you. No, that's appreciated. And aside from that, because of the amount of people who were supporting the protesters who involved with Cathay Pacific, what's going on with Cathay Pacific and its problems is as much a result of communist Chinese machinations in the mainland and the kind of political infighting they have with each other as it is. Just any kind of Korean aggression in terms of business offensive. And so it's definitely sabotage from the communists themselves. They prove by just strangling Hong Kong, they're willing to kill the goose that laid the golden egg. The power is far more important to them than profit. So this may ultimately, if Cathay Pacific is killed by anything, it's that. The political control of the economy. So it's definitely something that anyhow, now that we've got kind of some people here, let's see if we can find out if we're showing up on camera at all with the Skype translating into the studio. And Realtek, maybe you can help me with this. Let me go on screen share here, and maybe Realtek can help us actually get the camera going for our episode tonight. I'm going to press share screen, start sharing. Realtek, can you see the cursor moving? Okay. Or yourself?
I see the screen. Yes, I see you and I see the cursor. Yes.
Okay, good. So then what I'll do is I'll go to the let's go to Firefox. Let's go to the studio, and let's see now. Live streaming. Here we are. So here we are. Do you know of any way that I can get it to accept the camera signal? Is that this button? Turn on webcam.
Hold on a second. Let me zoom in here.
Yeah. This button here with the camera.
Yeah. It should be that button.
Okay, I'll hit that
Let
button.
me double check.
It says the stream can be accessed again from the manage list. Exiting will not end a stream if it is currently live. But I'm presuming that this hitting that, it says exit stream. It can so by turning the camera on, it's giving me this. Do you see this? Cancel or exit. So if I exit the stream, that ends the stream. So
that's not good.
Okay.
No.
So any ideas to make the camera work, or it's just say no, it wouldn't be that. I guess I just press the cancel button for now. Apparently we can't get the camera on. Any other ideas? I mean, places to go to, wouldn't be the chat buttons with maybe these three lines.
Let's see here.
Pop
I'm looking on YouTube also. Studio.
Yeah. And
content.
In the interim, Sammy will amuse us with all the dogs in the neighborhood coming to fuck his puppy in heat, or the crash of the airline's economy. One or the other. So, Sammy, you there? Oh shit! Let's see if he exited. He's mute. Okay. He said, be right back. Okay, so I didn't have that text box open. So that's what that was. And
yeah, he's always in and out.
Yes, he's in and out.
Are you using OBS Studio?
I'm using OBS, yes. So let's go to OBS.
Okay.
Here we are on OBS. Here we are. Stop streaming. Start stream. What about the camera would be where on OBS? Let me see. I've never turned the camera on here before. So you're looking at this with my share screen. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if any of this helps.
Sorry, I'm looking at. Let me see.
Take your time. I'm
looking at different things at once. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no worries.
I got a video. I just paused it, but
Okay.
Start virtual camera. Yeah, it should be that.
On OBS? Or
it should be that.
Or live stream
on
studio?
OBS.
On OBS.
On OBS.
So where do I find it?
On the right-hand side.
On the right-hand side.
Or maybe studio mode. I'm not too familiar with I haven't used. I'm familiar with OBS. I just haven't used it in a long time.
Okay, so
I just used it for streaming before also, but it's been a while.
Okay, it says no source selected. Let me take a look at studio
mode.
You
have to go to the settings then. The settings.
Oh, start virtual camera. There you are. Start virtual camera. I just pressed that button. There we are.
Okay.
See if that works. Ooga booga. Ooga. Does anyone see me? And see if that translates.
Let me go to the
live
YouTube stream. Let me see if I see you. Let me see.
It's coming up. May take a while before the
hold on a moment.
Things start showing. And so far, we're lucky.
No, I don't see you.
Yeah.
I just see the picture.
Yeah. So we're trying, people. We're trying, and we're just doing this kind of casually because it's been one of those nights where I figure since I'm already here, My son won't pick me up for a little while yet. I can get back into losing myself in boys' blood and alcohol and escorts. But honestly, I'm really disappointed I left all that at all to try and speak with MUFON tonight. We have no idea whether what's recorded will even be shared. He claims he's going to upload it to the cloud. Every time that people have said that, they'll say it got scrubbed. Somehow it got lost en route to the cloud. I'm sorry, we're not uploading it to the cloud because of some stupid reason that makes no sense. And the chances of that happening with this are high based on what already happened, which is he didn't record half the show. And then claimed I wasn't talking about UFOs through half the show, so there's no context for what we're speaking about at all. So we're just left.
Well, the UFO subject you of course go into about it was the
yes, yeah. So
Japanese Empire.
Yeah.
So,
but we're definitely left with what I feel is passive aggression, a passive ambush, and
but for you to download, sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. For you to video stream, you got to download a plugin first with OBS.
Oh, so, okay. So then that's something we're not going to do tonight. That's just like too much.
Yeah, it's called New Tech NDI. It is too much because OBS can be very finicky and very easy to be.
Okay, so we've concluded that. What about through the live stream? Is there something we can do through? I'm sharing screen. Is there something we can do through the studio live stream, or is it just not going to work because the webcam, when I click that button, just comes up with this stupid X Extreme shit? So it looks like that doesn't work. So I'm on camera, but we can't share it with the public. The only people who can see me are people who join me on a Skype call. So if you want to see me, go ahead and join us on the Skype call. And,
most likely it's the same thing. You have to use it in encoder.
Oh God, you're kidding.
So that's what software encoder is. So let's have a hardware encoder.
Okay, so we'll just cancel that. So they have like fairly complicated processes for me before they can...
do you have a graphics card?
I don't know. I presume I have a graphics card in my computer in case I wanted to play video games, but I never do that shit. So I wouldn't know how to...
Yeah, if an NVIDIA graphics card, you can use that, or AMD, either or. They have
okay. So
software built in. I see it all the time. I mean, okay. I can do the same thing also. But
so what we'll do is maybe one of these days privately go over that. I mean, we could do that now. I'm sharing screen, and I'm just pretty much afraid of all the porn people might see if I, try to access that. Graphics card, would that be available here on the File Explorer?
No. Go to no.
Okay, go to...
You can you just right-click the Windows icon and go to System.
Right-click the Windows icon and
then go to System.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what.
System. Okay. Okay, we get the... Okay. All right. PC is monitored and protected. Display. Okay. Go to display.
Should be display graphic settings, and I'll tell you what.
Okay. I click the display button, and then here we are.
About. I'm sorry. Go to About instead. About, and I'll tell you the specs. Yeah.
About down below. Here we are. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Okay. Pavilion 590. Okay, I'm doing. I want to do DXD IAG. So you go to Start and you type in DXD IAG, and it bring up.
You mean up here on this search bar?
And the search bar. No. On the type here search on the bottom.
On the bottom.
Type here to search on the bottom.
Okay.
Next to the Windows icon.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is uppercase.
Sorry, I've done this a while. Just lowercase is fine. DXDIAG.
DXDIAG. Okay.
Yeah, run command.
All
Yeah.
right. Run command. All right. And
hit and just and then go to display and tell you. Hit
uh,
enter. Hit it on your
okay.
mouse.
Now understand. I'm just kind of reticent about this because I'm a technophobe. So
it's not going to do anything. It just brings up. The.
Okay.
It's a diagnostic tool, but
okay.
I just use it for just check out the specs really fast. I just
Sure. Okay. So I
haven't
click
used it in a while.
either. Now you see my cursor moving, right? Do I click this
I see
blue
your
bar
cursor
here,
moving.
or do I click this, the X?
Just no. You click the blue bar.
The blue bar. Okay, so I'll click that.
Yes.
Okay. It says, do you want to check if your drivers are digitally signed? To check your drivers
Just,
okay.
This is the DirectX. I usually hit just yes. It's fine. I mean, I just did it right now. I hit yes.
Okay, just hit yes.
Yeah. It's not gonna. It's just specs.
Okay, so I just say yes. All right. Okay, now what?
It comes up.
It does.
It should come up. Didn't it come up?
It's coming up now. Took a few seconds there.
Okay.
Now
go to display.
Go to display. Okay, so I'm going to display. Here we are. All right.
Okay, you have UHD graphics card. Okay, that's Intel. Intel 630. Okay.
Take your time.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody gets to hear us, do this, and that's fine. I mean, you aren't getting any monologue from me tonight. People, you aren't getting any analysis. This is
people love your monologues.
Yeah, they're masochists. Yes.
Yes, they are. In the future, you do need a live. I do need a dedicated graphics card. It would be better for that.
Okay. What does that mean? In the future,
either NVIDIA, most likely NVIDIA, okay. NVIDIA or AMD.
So, in other words, you mean ultimately I need a new computer, is what you're telling me, right? Right?
I mean, yeah, you do, of course. Yeah, you do need a at least an 8-core processor. I would say that's I think using a 6-core.
Okay. In the meantime, with what we've got,
the parts are really getting cheap right now. They're getting really stupid cheap.
Okay.
Especially RAM and solid state hard drives. They're they crashed.
Okay.
So they're really good prices now. It really it's upsetting for me because I spent a lot of money last year on a bunch of SSDs. So,
oh my God, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's okay. So I'm just looking how to do this on Intel.
Mm-hmm. Sure, take your time. There's no rush. And meanwhile, do you?
Of course, but the thing is, you would need to update the drivers on it first, of course, most likely.
Oh my God!
I don't know unless Windows Update did it itself.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, right. Okay. Hard to tell. I guess maybe there's some way we could find out. In the end, if it's something that requires too much work, we'll give up on it. That's fine. I mean, I don't need to appear on camera for everybody else, but just for people who want to see me, join the fucking call. I mean, that's it's not often I do this because tonight I'm just shall we say agitated enough to do it because of what happened. I took time from the company of people I care about and appreciate to do this MUFON interview, and the usual stuff happens, standard operating procedure. We didn't record it through half the fucking interview. By the way, I never make this mistake with anyone else, but you're special, and so do you need to? Yeah.
You have to download the.
Okay, so if we have to download something, we'll forget it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta download the plugin for it's called NewTek NDI.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, but I'll press the exit anyway. And so we'll press the exit there, and then just basically I'll I can exit from here, right? Realtek, I guess. Pretty safely.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
it's not a
just
problem.
Close that X, So Sammy's back with us. So Sammy, by all means, cheer us up. I'm glad Realtek's able to join us. Maybe some other people can. I'll go back to the call now, see if there's anyone else we can get on the call. But in the interim, by all means, Sammy, how's your day otherwise? Any other workers acting up, demanding micromanagement, or? That was interesting. Have to go, unfortunately. Okay. Maybe he's back, or maybe that's a new one, or it's so it is what it is. So Realtek and I will hold it for a few minutes. We're going to see if there's anyone else out there. He sent me something, our OBS resources, the NDI, which, as our man Realtek himself has said, the OBS, the online broadcasting software, is kind of finicky. So it is what it is. Our man Realtek, of course, has sent some wonderful things my way, some links that have meaning. Apple, Google, and Blizzard are silencing Hong Kong protesters. Oh, that fucking figures. What assholes. The NDI stuff is, also here in this link. Send me that in the Facebook Messenger. Otherwise, when we close this call, it'll essentially disappear with the call. Yeah. Both those links, if you would be so kind, that would be fine.
Sure.
So that being said, we'll get back into the screen that I'm more familiar with, and let people know. Let's see if there's anyone in the chat. And again, we're primarily throwing this up. It's a pointed phrase. I use it. I use it fittingly. We're throwing this up to let everyone know that Peter Moon is right. Of course, he didn't have to have us on. And we're doing our best. We're getting the word out there. So the individual who interviewed us, the 91-year-old Will Wakely of San Diego MUFON, didn't record half the fucking interview. Nothing will make sense outside of its context. He offended me further by saying, well, you weren't talking about UFOs when everything we're talking about is the cultural context relevant to the war, which has everything to do with the so-called UFO, the Roswell atrocity. So it's like it's standard operational procedure, and therefore now he claims he's going to upload it to the cloud. And I told Peter Moon, just I'm very skeptical about this. Make certain he gives you a link that you can download, because even if he does upload it to the cloud, the chances, based on past experience, that it gets scrubbed will be very high. Most of the time, they don't even do it. They just say later on somehow it didn't make it onto the cloud. And if that happens, then it's standard operational procedure. Everything so far has been happening according to past being prelude, standard operational procedure, not recording the interview. And then, it only remains for the further steps. We'll see if this guy, he certainly wasn't trustworthy with the interview. No matter how much they claim about it being an accident, that this wasn't malevolent, it doesn't happen to anyone else. So we'll see if they'll, if they're willing to do that, they're willing to scrub it, period, and not put it up or publish it. So we'll see if they maintain any iota of integrity. Their integrity, of course, is worthless, because if they had any integrity, the accident, quote unquote, wouldn't have happened. But there you go. That's the life of a confirmed public informant. So then everybody who was, there began pushing Ancient Aliens and these other UFO shit productions like they're getting a commission, which I even told them, I hope you're getting a commission out of this. And so it's just like, it's a joke. It's a sick joke, a petty joke, but Peter Moon wants to make the most of it. If we're able to access anything that's downloadable, then I'll have to maybe splice it with a prelude and explanation. But I think it explains itself that they cut off half the interview. It really does explain itself. all you could do is buy the goddamn book. Make certain other people buy the goddamn book. So other than that,
Definitely buy the goddamn book. I absolutely agree.
thank you. And other than that, make certain everybody you know is aware of it and reads it, and just keep spreading the word. It's your war. You got to fight it. I can't do it alone. And you can see what I'm subject to. And this is even with the old white man at my side, Peter Moon. We're contending with another old white man, 91 years old, saying, "Yeah, just got back from the gym today." Okay, well, delightful. Okay, like, so that probably means he went to the gym and then looked at the door and walked home.
Yeah, it sounds like this other guy that went to the gym and did nothing there.
Yeah. He went to the gym though. Yeah. I can imagine that. Yeah. So then Will Wakely came home and said, "Now I'll do Dietrich over and the Moon Man," and Peter Moon saying, "Yeah, you didn't have to have us. Yeah, that's for sure." Yeah.
Too polite.
It is what it is. I'm disappointed to say the least. So all we could do is let people. We're here to qualify what happened on the day that it happened. This is what we're putting up on record. I was on camera with them. I'll be on camera with you if you decide to call in. That's any of you out there. Okay, let's take a look at some of these.
I'm sorry to hear that, Douglas.
Thank you.
You should have been screen recording it or something.
The point is, if I were on Skype, I could have recorded it because I know Skype.
You can screen record it also.
Then I'd be in the position where, like I'm with yourself right now. It's one of these things where, for one thing, we do have to think of some degree.
This is why you get a graphics card.
From this point forward, I'll have to let people know that, okay, I won't be interviewed by you unless we do that. But otherwise, you can understand how offensive that would be, that you're recording people without their permission, essentially. So that could be even a legal issue. But it's one of those things where, I'll try and qualify that with people who claim they want to interview me, that sort of thing. As it is what it was. And I'll be going back to a better place where I can enjoy myself. But right now I'm enjoying myself with Realtek here. And, I'll enjoy myself with whoever else decides to join the call. Anybody wants to come on for a few minutes, by all means, go ahead and do so. We're not going to be on for too long. The numbers keep increasing. People keep joining us. They're going up pretty quickly. So, all I can say is you're not going to hear me for too long. I won't be here for too long, but Realtek, hey, what's going on in the world before I go back to letting the new listeners know the litany, before I go back to relating the litany to the new listeners? Share with us whatever you're willing to share about what's going on in your world or what you feel we should be paying attention to in the world.
There's nothing really much going on with me. It's a lot of hardware tweaking. Things in the world. We'll definitely paying attention to what's been happening with the banks. Definitely that. I'm looking here at some on Twitter from Unusual Whales talking about Sharon Stone. It's broken down and crying about that she lost half her money from the banking collapse.
Oh, the banking collapse. She had half her money in Silicon Valley Bank?
Yes.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Well, I mean, theoretically, the feds will pay her back. Unless she had a lot of money in Silicon Valley Bank.
They're still covering. They're still
up to $250,000. Up to $250,000.
They're going to cover everything, though. No, they're covering everything with Silicon Valley Bank.
Okay.
Community banks. I'll send you the clip she was talking about. Community banks they're not going to cover more than $250,000.
Okay.
But the problem is the FDIC only has $127 billion.
Oh yeah, but they can print more money. They can always print more money.
Yes,
right?
they started to do that. Yes, they started to print $300 billion.
Yeah. So
something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
overnight.
yeah, cool, cool.
They
Yeah.
should have been prepared because this is exactly what happened with England
Uh-huh.
last year.
Okay. Cool.
They had to print $20 billion, something like that. I think it was.
Uh-huh. And by the way, I'm trying to change the call layout, so I'm just kind of. But go on. I mean, what you're saying is important.
Yeah, because the dollar is dying, and at the same time, the Chinese, Iranians, and the Russians and the Indians are all working with Saudi Arabia to create their own new oil currency.
Mm-hmm. And well, they can do that and have fun with it. It's masturbatory. As I explained to people before, yeah, it took 2 world wars to knock the greater British pound sterling off the apex predator category of top dollar, so to speak, a top pound. And it's going to take a lot more than that to dislodge the U.S. dollar. The United States dollar,
I agree.
yeah, is pretty secure. I couldn't believe the other day when I was sitting here and, Peter Moon started, how do I express this? He started like, I wouldn't say he was promoting crypto, but he started defending it. When I was like talking about how crypto, I brought up crypto's not the place to go. And he was like going, oh, they're bouncing back. They're bouncing back. And I don't know about that. They just closed the bank in New York because it had invested everything in crypto and lost its ass. So,
Silvergate.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, it didn't go so well with him. I was watching that for months and trading it sometimes, and it was $193 last year, and now it's worthless. That's the problem with crypto.
Yeah.
A lot of crypto is just a speculative asset.
Yeah.
So, I'll trade some of these things. I consider it to be just tradable. I don't like investing into Chinese communist companies either.
Thank you.
So I just traded. I got burnt very badly by Didi. So I took a long time to get my money back from that trading options. But
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you got it back at all.
I'm happy I did. I was very proud of myself. It wasn't easy though. But last time I looked, crypto was at Bitcoin was at 28,000. It's more the technology, but I don't know why I don't know why a lot of times when people are pushing things currency financial wise, it's because of the fact they have money in there and the bags are heavy because they're down on it and they want to pump up so they can get out of it. Maybe that's why Peter Moon is promoting it.
Well, in all fairness, I wouldn't call it promotion, but it's kind of close, kind of like defending it. And so I was shocked. And I was like, it's just amazing to me. People, it's amazing how people change. Oh, I know. Let's ask our lady Carmela, see if she's, let's take a look at just asking around and see who's available. Don't want to call people at such odd hours, but so what are you doing up? This your normal sleep pattern? Real tech? Did he drop?
I'm here. I just was watching something. Yeah. It's my it's my normal sleep pattern, which is also
okay. He got dropped somehow. Glitching. There's glitching going on.
You hear me?
Now, thank God. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little far away from the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So it's dropping you every once in a while. As for everyone else.
Yeah, I just want to make some coffee. I was just cleaning the kettle. I just want to make some coffee. That's why.
At any rate, so I think everybody got the message. interview we conducted with MUFON, Will Wakely, who's 91 years old, said, "Oh, I forgot to record it." He fucked away half the fucking interview, which is it's a 3-hour interview. He fucked away an hour and a half. He then insulted me by claiming I wasn't talking about UFOs, which everything I'm explaining is impossible to understand without context, and he eliminated the context so no one can understand what we're talking about. The end result is another passive ambush. He says it's accidental, but it never happened with anyone else but me. So then it's like Peter Moon says it's not a waste of time. We're getting the message out little by little. By the way, I want people to know we started off with 40 people in the chat, all these listeners, and throughout my talking about World War II, half of them left. And this is, of course, after they said, Douglas Dietrich is angry. It's like, okay, so you're dismissing everything I'm saying, all the facts I'm sharing, by trying to psychoanalyze myself because you're trying to dismiss the messenger. When I'm talking about the Americans trying to exterminate the Japanese to the point where they don't care what other Asians die, they're brewing up the biocidals at Fort Dietrich in Maryland during World War II, but the Japanese got to them first. Then Fort Dietrich, explaining that had a far higher security clearance than the atomic bomb project. Okay, none of this got recorded. So it's, just another passive ambush. There's nothing else to say. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke, and as always, it's just and I doubt he'll put it up on the cloud. If he does, it'll be a goddamn miracle. Of course, I'll appreciate it if he does, and it better be downloadable. So, George, we had another passive ambush in which half the goddamn interview wasn't recorded, and there's no point in ever doing this, because it's always the same shit. And it's the same joke is that, oh, yeah, it's an accident, but no, the accident doesn't happen with anyone else. So other than that, I need to talk to you privately, and I'll try to talk to you tomorrow. Is that possible? Maybe Tuesday.
Oh, absolutely.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh,
is
God, yeah,
Tuesday
absolutely,
possible? So what time? What time should I call you? Try to call you on Tuesday. Your time. My time.
Yeah,
time. We'll figure it out.
We'll do it about 6 p.m. British time, Douglas.
Okay, so I'll try and figure that out. So 8 hours before that is like, help us out here, Real Tech. If it's 6 p.m. in Britain, it'll be about what time San Francisco, going back 8 hours. 12 till 6 is 6 hours. So plus 2 would be 10 a.m. in the morning, my time on Tuesday. 10 a.m.
Ah, man, that fucking sucks.
If you need it later, Douglas, that's absolutely fine.
I gotta remember whether or not I'm doing something else on Tuesday. Let me see if I remember doing anything else. Now, I'm not sharing screen, so I'll look at my calendar. Not that I'm trying to hide anything on my calendar, but let me see if I can shrink the screen a little bit. Oh, fuck, what did I just do? Go to the call. How do I shrink the goddamn screen? Here we are. Now, everybody understand I'm really agitated, really irritated. Because I wasted a lot of time tonight, and it's it's unforgivable, and it's bullshit, and it's the same shit every goddamn time, and Peter Moon's trying to look at it as a positive. He's welcome to do so. I highly doubt that this will even be uploaded. What little they record it, if it is, it's a goddamn joke anyway. And so let me check Tuesday. I have a 10 a.m. appointment. So I've already got an appointment at 10 a.m. With the Bulgarians. And I want everybody to know that I'm going to have to make rent at the end of this month. And I am going to need your fucking help to do it, everybody. So, hopefully some help can be provided. But without it,
I'll send you some money right now.
You're kidding. Okay, that's appreciated.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate it. Need help from everybody. Hopefully the Bulgarians will help too.
Everyone support Douglas Dietrich.
Thank you. No, thank you. It's deeply appreciated. So, that being said, I have an appointment with them in the morning. I don't know how long that'll last. But after that's over, I'll try and call. First thing I'll try and call will be our man George Knight. Okay? So that'll be about 11. This might be a short test call with the Bulgarians. But I'll give it about an hour. So I would say between 11 a.m. my time and 12 noon. Between 11 a.m. and high noon my time, which would be about 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. your time. If I give you a call, I should be able to reach you on Tuesday, right?
Yeah, thank you, Douglas. Absolutely. I'll keep my eyes open for it. Thank you.
Okay.
For the message.
And
yeah.
So I'll definitely be up, and I'll definitely be on screen. So that being said, tell us about anything you feel comfortable sharing with us. I do hope everybody in your family, Sarah and the child and everyone else is fine.
Yeah, thank you for asking, Douglas. No, everyone's great, thank you. And I just do apologise. I've just tuned in myself. I haven't come on.
I was only on a few minutes, dude. I was only on a few minutes.
Yeah,
it's on. I'm not going to be
apologize.
on that long. I'm just on tonight to explain to everybody what happened on the day that it happened, so that they know. Many people will be disappointed to find out that Mutual UFO Network did exactly what we expected them to do and did not record the interview. Half the interview is missing. Whether they upload the other half or not remains to be seen. I do not trust these people at all. Will Wakely proved himself to be completely untrustworthy. He said, "Oh, it's just an accident. It's not malevolent." But the accident never happens with anyone else. Nobody else ever suffered what you did, Douglas. You're special. Thank you. That's so offensive. And then follows it up with another insult saying, oh yeah, well, you weren't talking about UFOs anyway. You're talking history. Without the historical context, nothing I'm saying about the UFOs makes sense. So you're just full of shit. And everybody that was it. It's just more shit. So fuck these people.
Yeah.
And, I'm just tired of being fucked with again. It's a complete waste of time. And Peter Moon says it's not. We're getting the word out there. The word's not going to get out there if he doesn't upload it. I don't believe he's going to upload it because his integrity so far has proven that
he will upload it.
Yeah. I'm sorry? How can I do that? I don't have it.
I said he will upload it.
Oh yeah.
But it won't be a lot though.
Okay.
You'll have something. It won't be all of it though.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he'll upload something maybe, and if he does, I'd still be surprised. Most of the time this happens where they come up with it didn't upload. Something happened. They'll say something technically impossible, and so it's just is what it is. So we're just what happened is I want the audience to know what happened. I want it on record, and there you have it. Peter Moon says if he does upload it, then we'll try and download it, and then we'll try and share it. Other than that, and the reason we have to do that is because it might get scrubbed. Everybody be on the lookout for it. It was the Mutual UFO Network of San Diego. And so we test whatever interview they have. I found it probably just another offensive passive ambush. There's nothing positive to say. This is a joke, and so it's one of those things where other than that, I think it's it is what it is. So George, tell us what else is going on in the world that you think we should be paying attention to.
Oh yeah, thank you, Douglas. So I just wanted to say to everyone, this has happened in the past way too often, and it only happens to Douglas. Mm-hmm. It's so sad. I was looking forward to it, Douglas. I kept looking out yesterday to see if I could see anything actually on Facebook, if there was anything uploaded.
Well, first off, it's on Zoom, which is a joke anyway. And, and obviously the guy. By the way, Will Wakely is 91 years old. He's an engineer who was involved with the manufacture of semiconductors. He's involved with the manufacture of semiconductors in the past throughout his life. Now, he was trying to tell me about something that kept him out of the war. Throughout the Korean and Vietnam Wars, we were manufacturing. There was this tiny little vacuum tube, and it was basically a radar. And this radar technology helped the ordnance, the ammunition, explode, about 20 feet away from the target instead of exploding on impact with the target. I don't remember what it was, what they called it. And I said, proximity fuse. And he says, yeah, that was it. Proximity fuse. And I'm just thinking to myself, is this guy serious? Or is he testing me? Or is he just seeing if I'm like the real thing? That I know about what technology I'm talking about? But here he is. He was involved with Texas Instruments, making some of the world's first semiconductors. Yeah, back when they were phasing out calculators. And I'm sharing with him, my mother loved Texas Instruments. We used to buy those calculators. She would always buy top of the line, the latest bleeding edge calculators. She loved Texas Instruments. And, and I was at Taiwan once, beautiful country. And then, okay. So I'm testing out to see if this guy is going to go hostile. But what happens is, as soon as you hang up with these people, then they get all the threats, they get all the gang stalkers, and then they basically start doubting. And start saying, maybe I shouldn't do this. And then by the time that the interview starts, they're totally intimidated, thoroughly cowed, or bought off, or both. And then it's always the same shit. And so we're talking with him on the interview, and he doesn't know how to work the Zoom. Now understand this, he's conducted Zoom interviews for so many other people before me, as to be countless, but he doesn't know how to work the Zoom. This is an engineer who has manufactured semiconductors and proximity fuses, but he doesn't know how to work Zoom. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking serious? Are you really going to pull this shit and expect me to believe it? It's like, no. That's obviously malevolent.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yes,
it is.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know how to work the Zoom, and everyone's defending him. It's the Zoom, and it's like, I told him, there's this, it's a communist Chinese venue. Every time I've been on it, something catastrophic has happened. So are you going to pull the same shit? Oh no, man, not me. Same shit. So it's it's beyond offensive. It's just, this is psychological warfare. He's obviously affiliated with the Aquino cult, because who else would do this? There's no point in doing this at all. And when Peter Moon says something like, he didn't have to have us on, why would he have us on? Because the whole point of psychological warfare, it's just wasting you away, wasting your time, wasting hours of your life, wastes the energy, and there's no point in doing this. And this was after he claimed he read the book.
Destroy your morale.
Yeah, that's the whole intent. And it's the same thing they'll do over and over again. It's a joke. And so as for half the audience walking out when we were talking about it, I consider that an accomplishment. People saying, Douglas Dietrich is angry. And I'm telling him about, look, you had thousands of troops, the equivalent of almost half a dozen divisions wiped out by your vaccine during the war, done by your own government, your own military. If you don't get angry about this, you're an idiot. Again, the pop psychology bullshit that other people say, I never read anything about a yellow fever outbreak. There wasn't a yellow fever outbreak, you idiots. I just said it was the vaccine. Again, this is like, they're not going to get that context because he didn't record half the interview. So it's a joke. Again, it's like, just impossible to excuse. There's no excuse for this. It's just wretched. So aside from all that wretched bullshit, we got a photograph here. Okay, our man, Mr. Realtek, sent some money. Thank you very much. God bless you. Appreciate that profoundly. And everyone else, to join him in this effort. I'll need all the help with just cab fare. Just a lot of use of cabs this month I don't normally use. Got to try and get on the voucher system that my parents used to be on. Should have tried to apply for that years ago, but you know how it is, dealing with everything all at once before. dealing with everything all at once now.
You're welcome.
Yeah, go on, Real Tech.
You're welcome. I try to help you however I can. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, but
yeah, and
okay.
thank you. Every bit helps. And so aside from that, now back to George and Real Tech for a little bit. We'll see if anyone else joins us in the next few minutes or so, and then I'll eventually take off. It's 11:16 p.m. right now. I'll probably leave around midnight. Depends on I'll get some communications on the cell phone from my son as to whether or not there's any delays, but probably around midnight I'll cut off. This is Pacific time. Other than that, all of you gentlemen share with us. So George, what do you think we should be paying attention
How you doing,
to?
George?
Yeah, very well, thank you, Real Tech. And yeah, Douglas, it was just like that time when I was at the bar with that individual, Mr. Place, when I spoke to him about the per the laws of the Geneva Convention, that the Japanese would feed their prisoners of war, the Americans when they were captive as prisoners of war, they would feed them like basically rations. Half. It would be like quarter of the rations that they would feed their own prisoners of war in the field. So they would die at 17 times the rate as they would in National Socialist prisoner of war camps. So the American captive prisoners of war in Japanese camps would die at 7 times the rate as they would in the National Socialist, the German prisoner of war camps. That's because of the Japanese stature were about 4 to 5 feet tall. The average Japanese male was 4 or 5 feet tall. So the per the laws of the Geneva Convention, you were obliged to feed half your prison, half the rations you'd feed your own troops in the field, but you'd feed half the rations you would to the prisoners. And this individual goes, well, the Japanese never signed the Geneva Convention. So he just and I said, that's not what I said. That is per the law. And he walked off, and I never saw him again. He never drank at the bar again. He ordered every drink to his room, and he never came back to the bar to finish the conversation.
That's how intimidating.
So I consider that a victory. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like what you.
Yeah, the Japanese were very upset with happened.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, I got a little hyper.
Oh.
Yeah, the Japanese at the end of the First World War were very insulted that they weren't included at all and ignored in the Treaty of Versailles when they took up the sides of the Western Allies. They were the bitter enemies of the Russian Empire. So you can't blame them. And I'm pretty sure they were not in the League of Nations also.
No, they were in the League of Nations, but they left. So did the the Germans and Italians. Ultimately, all three of the Axis powers left. Yeah, and that's why it broke apart.
Yes. Yeah. But it just shows you a lot of these people just don't pay attention to these simple things they were taught in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
I was
going to say, Douglas, quickly. Most people don't get taught any of this in school. It's completely ignored. Very interesting. It's even like my daughter, she's in secondary school. They started teaching them about the Holocaust, and every single time she came home, I asked her each week, actually, what have you learned about the Holocaust? And she goes, nothing. I was like, what, nothing? They didn't teach you anything about the Holocaust? She said, no, they didn't teach us anything. Well, she can't remember what they taught her. And I wrote down.
That's probably for the best, but go.
Yeah, exactly.
It definitely is for the best.
No, absolutely. I completely understand that, and of course, I can't tell her that, because otherwise she's going to get bad grades. Otherwise, But I actually wrote down some very good notes for her, so that probably the teachers won't even know anything about. And I wrote down.
There's actually a silent film called "The City Without the Jews" from 1924. I totally forgot about that one.
Wow.
And I wrote down on these notes about Crystal Nut, and I wrote down about Herschel Greenspan, Ernest von Roth, the diplomat in Paris. So I wrote down all these all these events that happened. So hopefully should take that into school, and then hopefully teach her teachers something. And then it was just, when we talk about history, most people don't know that it's completely ignorance, naivete, and yeah, it's just completely oblivious to history, because nobody gets taught history correctly, and that's why people turn off and switch off, and they just can't stomach it, because it just it violates their own paradigms, their own matrices. People just live in a fantasy world, fantasy universe, their own little bubble, and it's quite sad. But this is why people
they exist in an echo bubble. It's the mass
Yes.
thought of whichever group they're affiliated with. Now, one of the things that I do want to emphasize is that for future reference, I want both of you gentlemen in particular to stop being so apologetic about interjecting yourselves into conversation. First off, understand, of course, for our listeners, there's a delay. So our man George Knight is across the other side of the Atlantic. Real Tech also gets a delay. And so a lot of times the conversation seems like there's a kind of cut or interjection that seems abrupt. So that's just the nature of the beast. So don't be apologetic about it. Just interject.
carry on.
Yeah, just carry on and just
Thank you.
say, here, let me add this, let me add that. I mean, obviously, if somebody is, shall we say, I don't expect anybody to be offended by a constructive interjection. Nobody should be. So, yeah, no need to be apologetic. And then if somebody does, for some reason, get offended, which I can't imagine someone doing that, I'll make a joke here, of course, maybe Brooke. I tend that in the best of humor. But it's otherwise you just kind of barrel on through. I mean, it's really the best way to work with it. So aside from that, Sammy was with us for a little bit. Michelle Saldana checked in terms of she went active for a bit. I asked if I could bring her on, but she just went inactive or away. So I obviously take it that means no. I do want people to understand that she got on the other day, really after hours, and she wound up waking people up in her Airbnb. Now, I'm very glad the manager who came and informed her she had woken people up, that this was not something that just jeopardized her living situation. But it does beg the question. I mean, her living situation, I said, you must be in just this side of a homeless shelter, because if other people in this Airbnb can hear you talking and they say you're waking them up, okay, that's pretty disturbing. That's like, I imagine, like beds side by side and shit. Like, she insists that's not the case, and everything was fine. I believe her, but whatever it is, it's got to be. First off, her voice is shot. It's not like she really shouts, so it's not like even if she shouts, you can't really hear her because she's kind of hoarse. So it's like these people must have paper thin walls or no walls at all, and they're sleeping with dividers in between them. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, just weird shit. So she's writing something now, dear lady, probably listening to what I'm saying, and it is what it is. And other than that, how about you two gentlemen? Are you guys sleeping well?
Yeah, very well, thank you, Douglas. And I just wanted to ask, did you bring up in the interview with the 1,000-Year Reich in exile? Did you mention it?
It was inescapable.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's what I was looking forward to.
That was mostly towards the end, so all that got recorded. Yeah. So,
right, thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
At least something.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if he's going to upload it. He can't be trusted to do that.
He will.
Yeah. Real Tech, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I mean, that'll be something at least. And then that'll,
1/3 of the interview.
Yeah. It's essentially.
You can make it the clips. You can make it the YouTube short clips or something.
Yeah.
You can work on it.
I get it.
You can salvage it, man.
Our man George or Ian could do that. Maybe even John Warrington. Real Tech. Maybe you could do that. Is that possible?
Yeah, I can help you with that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. By all means.
Oh,
or
man.
do it yourself. I mean, you're more than welcome to do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hong Kong shares fly 3%. Asia markets mostly fall after UBS buys Credit Suisse.
Okay.
Interesting.
Whoa.
This is breaking news.
All right. All
At
you've got is
2:22
Joe
a.m.
Rogan, Real Tech. All you get on YouTube is Joe Rogan with these short clips. So yeah, we've got to
Yeah.
Oh, it's so annoying. Really is. It's that individual who started talking about the Nazi. He calls it the Nazi stronghold in Antarctica, and it's all you get is Joe Rogan and this individual, Trapelli, I think his name is. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, if you could do that, Real Tech, I'm more than happy to send you over some clips, recorded myself, and some of my compilation videos. So if you could do
sure.
anything like that,
Sure. I can do that for you. Yeah.
yeah.
How are you gonna upload on Google Drive or how you want to do it?
I can email them to you. I could just email them to you.
Email is only going to be
if the content
it's better.
Yeah, if the content is if the content's large enough, it can't transport well through the email. So sometimes the Google Drive, you can use a zip file
or Dropbox.
Dropbox. You're both on. So this is what both of you gentlemen will need to do is basically you would both get on Skype and do a screen share, and Real Tech will show you what to do.
Oh, bless. Yeah, absolutely. Because
I will do that for you.
On, Skype, Real Tech. So
By the way,
just schedule time with me.
Yeah.
And we'll do that.
Yeah, both of you can schedule some time, and both of you seem to be.
Yeah, because Joe Rogan is very ignorant. Yeah, he's ignorant. It's just like So I absolutely agree with you about that.
Yeah. And both of you, you're both up late at night, so both of you should be able to make this happen. I mean, rather George Knight is up in his day, whereas Real Tech is often up late at night. You can actually make this work. By the way, message from Michelle Saldana. I want all our listeners to maintain her in thought and prayer. Michelle Carmela Saldana says, I'm certain she'll have no problem with me reading this. She says, it is not a very good breathing day for me, even with the breathing treatments. I am going through an allergic reaction to something I think that I will continue to work through. I will check in with you when I become more stable once this is over. Okay, so this could be because of the air in Los Angeles, which has been infamous over the years.
Yeah, she needs some chickweed and watercress and red root. She needs a bunch of things to help her lungs.
Yes.
And other things also that like hawthorn berry, which also thins the blood.
Yeah.
That too.
Hope she's listening.
But the air in Los Angeles has always been terrible.
Yeah.
Always.
I mean, in all fairness, once California started these new air control laws and the car emissions laws, etc., the air in Los Angeles improved by orders of magnitude, but there are still bad days, especially with all the wildfires we have going on constantly that can cause air quality to go way down. But nevertheless, I would say no matter how many improvements, probably a lot of people would figure the air is not fit for human consumption. Nowhere near as bad as India, though. Now, India is... No. And Mexico City.
Well, India... Yeah, India, they were talking about shutting down the city for the pollution.
Yeah.
Complete shutdown.
Yeah. No, India's... New Delhi, the capital of India, is like
Delhi.
Uninhabitable. I mean, it's just it's just horrific. Horrific.
Who wants to anyway? I mean, they fucking rape women with fucking pipes, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah. By the way, just so people understand where Real Tech is coming from, Asian India there is a author by the name of Dan Simmons. Dan Simmons once wrote a novel that won an award titled The Song of Kali. And it was kind of a murder mystery novel, but it really wasn't. It fell into horror and supernatural simply because of a few elements that are nowhere fantastical. But he opens up the book with basically saying, I used to be anti-nuclear weapon. I used to partake in nuclear protests against nuclear power and nuclear weapons. But after an experience in India, I dream of turning cities in India into rivers of glass. He had in the novel, this is the conceit of the novel, his speaking what he spoke was through the filter of the novel's character. But it's all too real. Basically, his wife is Asian Indian in the novel, and his child is a product of their love. And basically, the child is abducted and gutted by a cult in India. Now, the reality is not so much that this would happen to you in India. The horrible reality, if you're a woman, is that your chances of being violently raped and killed are extraordinarily high. The statistics and demographics are literally unbelievable, but they're all too real. It's like the Asian Indians themselves will publish these statistics that pretty much at least 50% of children in India are raped by their own family. This is the statistics that are officially acknowledged. Then you get into the demographics of rape, stranger rape, or woman raped by people they don't know, gang raped or otherwise, and the statistics are astronomical. It's just like, you know, you can't call India a civilization. There is something extraordinarily wrong with India. There is, maybe we can blame British colonialism for some level of psychological scarring, but after a while, you've got to take responsibility for who you are, right? I mean, it's only so far you can go with that. It's like, if you're a woman, I would strongly advise not going to India. Now, of course, there's exceptions to every rule, and maybe you're a woman. I knew some who were white American women, went to India, and had positive experiences. Hopefully, you know, don't risk it. Don't risk it. It's and oh God, if you're a woman born in India, you're just fucked. Period. I mean, it's like life is hell.
And especially people that don't get screened a lot for STDs and HIV. It's a big issue there also.
Yeah, I'm sure. And South Africa. Oh my God, rape capital of the world. It doesn't matter what your race, what your orientation, what your gender. Something like half the population has AIDS. I mean, like, or HIV positive at least. It used to be AIDS. Now it's mostly they got the cocktails. I think these are all distributed through a lot of Africa through the United Nations or something. But
yes, yeah,
it's just unbelievable. I mean, our world is it's no place to live. But hey, when we were done with the interview officially, and then the participants started talking, one motherfucker fell asleep throughout the interview, and I could see him on his camera like this. Yeah, you know, drool out of the mouth and shit. Then when he woke up at the end, and we said, okay, any inputs welcome. Watch the History Channel! The Ancient Aliens! They'll save us all! They'll save us all! And, you know, and then the other goober who was on there, and was actually very kind, very polite, till we started insulting the movie, which he started saying, I'm a believer because I saw this documentary, and this guy made this documentary, and you gotta watch it, about contact in Brazil, and the aliens are little gray men with 3 fingers each, you know, it's like the typical alien, you know, which I
said, next thing I say, you should fucking watch Iron Sky.
Yeah, that's right. And I said, I hope you're getting a commission for this. You know, it's like, it's like, what's the point? So I did my best to temper the blows of reality with these people, but, you know, nobody dared to talk while I was there. Instead, you know, everybody said, we can't talk till Dietrich leaves. Can't talk till Dietrich leaves. I said, how do I get out of here? I'd like to leave now. Believe me, I don't want to be here. It's like, press the leave button. I said, give me some credit. I already did that. It doesn't work. Because it's fucking Zoom, right? And it's like, okay, go up to the top and press the X. I said, that's just going to shut the window, but that doesn't shut the call. And then, try it. And I press that. Then another button comes up, leave if you must or something. And then I pressed that and it actually fucking worked. So able to escape what I escaped. I mean, this is just bizarre. It's just there's no describing it. It's just it just is what it is. So George says he's sleeping great. How about yourself, Real Tech? You were up late at night. Are you sleeping okay in the day?
Yeah, I was. I fluctuate. I'll be up for a long time and then I'll sleep. But yeah, I slept very well today.
Okay,
excellent today.
All right, good.
All day, all night.
Good. This is what I try to tell Americans. What most people are really suffering from is sleep deprivation. And, I usually do 2 days up where, I have to deal with the transmission. You're basically up throughout the night. You're going through one day into another. So I'm basically up for 48 hours and then I sleep for 48 hours. Now, I don't sleep through the entire 48 hours, but I get up, putter, go back to sleep. Of course, when I party on days like this, I'm up for days at a time. And I really regret leaving the party that I was at to join the MUFON party, which is kind of like going from Las Vegas to fucking some I don't know how to describe it. Somebody's poker game in a basement or some shit. It's like, okay, you suddenly find yourself with a bunch of people in a smoke-filled room, and you're just like, the stakes here aren't high enough for me to be worth my investment of time and energy. But all right, let's hope Pete the Moon Man is right and that all of this pays off in the sense of we're chipping away, Douglas. We're chipping away. Yeah. I mean,
why didn't Peter Moon interview?
What's that?
Peter Moon.
What about?
Have him interview you.
Yeah, we could do a little special or something. Have him interview me on camera if we could figure out how to make the camera work on live stream. Yeah. So maybe you and I'll.
Or yeah, I can interview you also.
Yeah. That's a thought.
We can figure it out.
Yeah.
What you said?
Do something like that, or have George join us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, the more complicated it gets, the more unlikely it is that'll happen. So it'll probably just be Real Tech and me sometime soon. So, in a month
I
or
will
two.
be screen recording it also, just in case it's a backup.
Yes. Thank you. Sounds good. We could do that and put it up. And then we could spend that whole interview with my bitching about MUFON and outlining what I was saying to them, and maybe I'll be able to recall.
That's fine.
Maybe I'll be able to recall something. Yeah. I mean, so that everybody knows, again, half the interview was not recorded. He didn't turn it on. Now, see, if I had been on Skype, which I'm familiar with, I would have recorded it myself because I never trusted the son of a bitch. As it was, it's Zoom. I'm not familiar with the venue, and therefore he had total control of the venue. And therefore, kept saying, yeah, I don't get it, but by the way, I'm an engineer, and guess what? Yeah. He says, yeah, I read Peter Moon's books, and I don't get that time travel stuff. This just escapes me. I'm an engineer, and then I said, okay, and I said, Dr. David Lewis Anderson was obviously getting a lot of black budget money, but I don't understand, the time travel aspects any more than you do. Then, of course, he comes on to me about gravity, though. I understand gravity. And I was saying, well, this is incredible. I said, this is in his private conversation with me, but I alluded to it when we were speaking publicly. I said, well, if you truly have an understanding of gravity, the rest of us don't have, then that's monumental because obviously ages have been defined by the technology, the Stone Age, the Iron Age, the Bronze Age, the Steam Age. We're in the age of technology now, but what will decide the future of humanity is the age of gravity. It would be when we enter the gravitic age is when we reach the stars. Now, of course, what I was explaining to them in the part that got recorded, if it's ever uploaded, was that's where the Third Reich is at. The Third Reich is in the gravitic age. This is thanks to the Diglocka technology, the Bell technology, which is used for propulsion as well as energy. They're in the gravitic age, which enables them to, theoretically at least, travel the stars. Certainly through the solar
Speaking
system.
of Iron Sky, actually, they have an insult in that movie that their technology was so old and far behind that all they had to do was take an Apple iPod for it to work properly.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
This is the well, don't forget these. If you're insulted by that, think of the insult to all of us with Independence Day, the original, where the guy uses a fucking laptop, which was an Apple, if I remember correctly, to download the virus into the alien mothership, or whatever laptop he was on. I mean, now...
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum. It's like, that's the science fiction part. Yeah, that's the part that's truly, well, it's science fantasy at that point. That's the part that's truly unbelievable. So, I mean, it's the same shit. It's, of course, one is where they're taking down the Germans. The other one is a pronouncedly, painfully Jewish guy taking down the aliens. By the way, it's not just his ethnicity in real life. That's his ethnicity in the movie, because his father emphasizes very heavily that he's Jewish to the point where he's doing some candle work that's very Judaic on the floor, and some guy says, may I join you in this hour of prayer? I'm not Jewish myself. And he says, we can't all be perfect. Yeah, so it just kind of rubs it in your face the characters are Jewish, okay? So it's like, there you have it. It's it is what it is. But somehow...
Last movie was also...
Yeah? What was that?
Oh, it was garbage. The last movie was just junk.
Oh, it was just, well, they waited so long. I mean, they waited so long, but to their credit, they brought back the overwhelming majority of the original cast. You can't recognize any of them, but they brought back the majority of them. The only one they couldn't bring back was I think it was Will Smith, the black guy. But they brought in another token black to replace him, which is almost offensive in and of itself, because
they did replace him because of the fact that he wasn't even the main character as flying guy. He couldn't do it. It was a white guy instead, which is one of the Liam brothers.
Okay.
Well, they brought back his son in the movie.
Yeah.
They brought back his
It's supposed to be his son in the movie. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. The African American character,
right?
Who plays as in the Boys as the Flash version.
Right. So I mean, they fictitiously handled it as well as they could. But the point is, it's like at least a decade later, 20 years. I think it was 20 years or more later.
It's 20 years.
Here's a very important point as well to make. The installation, what people know as Area 51, Homey Airfield installation, or Tonopah Army Airfield, they actually offered the film crew to actually film on set, on site the base. That was because they were promoting the alien agenda. And so they actually said to the film crew, you can actually film on our installation base. So they actually offered.
Yeah. If I had known that, I would have brought that up. Yeah, but I did bring up Area 51 in the part of our interview that was recorded, which Realtek, by the way, just so people understand this.
Interesting.
Yeah, Realtek, he has some modicum of psychic talent. So I believe that may be what he's using with the certitude that he speaks with when he says they're going to upload it. Like he says, it might still get wiped from the internet, it might still get scrubbed, but he seems very much under the feeling of conviction intuitively that it will be uploaded. So let's hope he's right. His psychic precognizance has proven itself in the past to a certain degree. I'd say satisfactorily. So is that what you're going with, Realtek, when you say this?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And
You're
so
welcome.
yeah, and aside from that, when it comes
It
to,
has potential to get scrubbed, yes, but you just gotta back things up, man.
well, if we get the link, I will try to get it to you immediately so you can download it, both of you gentlemen. And then,
Yes.
so
Make sure you do that.
yeah, and I'll make certain I do that.
I do you have external hard drives?
I have external hard drives, yeah, but they might be full at this point with all the crap I put in them, or getting close to it.
Oh, the porn, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's that. Yeah, there is that. And George Knight says, "I'll be 5 minutes, gentlemen." Okay. Yeah, he's taking a piss, and
Or shit.
yeah, no, that's too fast. That's too fast for a bowel movement. Fuck that. I mean, if I had to try and take a bowel movement that quickly, I'd protest. So aside from that, let's take a look in the chat room, see if anybody's talking, so to speak. And
Yeah, I did put some links in there.
Okay.
I hope they got in there.
Okay. Nobody's talking in the chat room from what I can see. So that's let me reset it.
That's so weird.
Yeah, most of the time
Let's
they
see.
do.
me
Most of the time
check.
somebody will come in. Yeah, interesting. So nobody's talking. Even though the number of people watching was going up, pretty quickly. And we're heading towards a fairly good number of people now. So all the listeners who are new, let me repeat it. Basically, it was a silent ambush. Will Wakely of San Diego Mutual UFO Network interviewed myself and did not record half the interview, eliminating all context for what was said. And claimed it's not malevolent, but of course this accident has never happened with anyone else. So we're definitely in the territory of extraneous. By the way, I don't even see where I've signed off, but I don't think that. I guess I haven't signed out of Zoom, so I guess I should sign out, and because that thing is still on, and so hopefully the button I just pressed signs me out, and it's still showing up on my thing, and maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have stayed permanently in, and I can play around with that as time goes on. But aside from that, hopefully I never have to use Zoom again. So,
Yeah, if it wasn't for the pandemic, it never went up to almost $500 a share. I think it was.
Yeah, that's so awful. It's so awful, and so
Let me check.
Yeah,
All-time high.
Yeah, just appalled as usual. And
yeah, Chinese. Yeah, here you go again with Chinese. Garbage. So
thank you. I'm just
$559 a share, October 12th, 2020.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, disgusting.
Yeah, it's insane. Giving all your information, everybody following everything you're doing to the Communist Party.
Yes, thank you. Essentially,
now it's $69,
yeah.
and that's still too high for that garbage.
Yeah. Just so people know who are again demonstrating who are anxious to advertise their ignorance. If anybody looks up Zoom, it'll say it's an American-owned company. If you believe that, you're an idiot. It's owned by a man who's ethnically Chinese. He has United States citizenship, but he's ethnically Chinese, and he's a card-carrying member of the Chinese Communist Party. He was responsible during the Tiananmen Square massacre for making certain that no information escaped China, everybody using the information mediums he controlled at that time, which was the precursor to Zoom, if not Zoom itself. He made certain were completely censored. And he completely censors anything on Zoom that disagrees with the communist agenda, and that includes anything dealing with Taiwan, Free Tibet, Falun Gong, and he's censoring people here in the United States on those subjects. So he's acting as a Chinese occupation government for the United States in cyberspace. Now, you might ask, how did I get on the Mutual UFO Network Zoom call? Look at them. They didn't record it. By the time the guy started recording it, it was an hour and a half in. So at that point, any alerts sent to the Communist Chinese, they probably figured, well, fuck, this guy hasn't recorded half the call anyway. It must be meaningless, and it's all UFO shit. And they probably just thought, probably everything was in the hands of censors in America, meaning MUFON, Mutual UFO Network, and that there was no need for them to cut it off completely. But who knows? They might censor it as he tries to upload it, or they might censor it after he uploads it onto the cloud. So they might lose control of it, quote unquote, once it gets on the cloud. I'm ignorant as to the nuances of that, but so if maybe his not recording it was salvation for what was left, who knows? I'm not going to dwell on it because it's simply bullshit anyway.
Yeah. New York Times, Zoom blocks activists in U.S. after China objects to Tiananmen's vigil.
Thank you. So people understand this. It's a communist Chinese company, which I shared with the individual. By the way, the guy did ask when I was speaking to him privately, how did Taiwan get so technologically advanced? So I told him about the Dietrich artifact in brief. And he that's when he started telling me about gravity. I understand gravity. I understand what Einstein was saying. And by the way, I shared that with V, and she laughed. She says, I hear that all the time. We all do. At some point, some guy comes along and says they've discovered the secret to gravity, that it's not really a pull, or it's not really a pull, it's more like a push, some shit like that. And he's at that level now where it's like he's at that level. It's like, but what I was trying to say earlier, before I lost my own train of thought, no fault of these gentlemen, I assure you. When you think back on this guy, Will Wakely, and the experiences I've had with him, you'd understand why I want to lose my train of thought. But yeah, he was like saying, I can't get Peter Moon's books, and basically poo-pooing Dr. David Lewis Anderson, what he's doing. Well, regardless of whether one understands what David Lewis Anderson is doing or not, he comes on with his own, well, I know gravity shit. I mean, at this point, we're at the level of I invented time travel, okay? This is on the level of, okay, I get Einstein and no one else does, I'm the first. Then you're basically saying, okay, I found out anti-gravity. Okay, if you've got the secret to gravity, then you can counter gravity. So it's kind of like when Einstein comes up with, by the way, oh, yes, just so I get this out. Oh, there was this idiot named Joseph, called himself Joseph. Might even be a real person. There was actually one video on his channel. So if you have at least one video on your channel, you might be real. It's kind of like George Knight. Nobody would believe he's real except he had a bunch of gaming experiences he had shared, walkthroughs on his channel for a while. At that point, at least you know somebody's there, right? Somebody's real. He's got other stuff on there now. Yeah,
it's on a bot.
Yeah. And but with this Joseph guy, who's probably not a bot, he comes on after one of my episodes, and he says, responding to what I said about Einstein and the bomb, where Einstein, a literal quote, saying, if I had known what would have happened, I would have been a locksmith. Talking about, basically absolving himself of responsibility for the bomb while acknowledging he basically made it possible. This guy comes on, and I was like talking about Einstein and the invention of the atomic bomb, tracing back to his equation, which of course it does. Just so people know, when Einstein came up with E equals mc squared, every scientist in the world with any understanding of physics understood this meant bomb. It meant a tremendous release of energy at some point, and science fiction stories began incorporating the term atomic bomb. So science fiction stories, long before World War II, you can look this up, talked all about nuclear war. And that someday atomic bombs would leave cities glowing. These are terms used in science fiction stories of the 20s, the 30s. Glowing. Somehow they knew. Somehow they knew that it would do that. It's people have intuition. There's kind of an intuitive understanding, the morphogenic field. When the ideas out there, the Akashic records, the noosphere more accurately, as developed conceptualized by Teilhard de Chardin, the noosphere gets it. It becomes part of the public consciousness. So what happened with this idiot, Joseph, he says, Oppenheimer invented the atomic bomb, not Einstein. And I said, look, I'll refer to this in the next episode if I remember to do so. You know, I just told him I may not remember, but if I remember to do so, I'll address it. And then later on, he left some other comment that was just a pure trolling remark. I don't even remember what it was. And so I just said, okay, fuck you, and I blocked him. But the interesting thing was I did not delete his comment in my response about the atomic bomb. And it was, he deleted it. He deleted it because I guess at that point, she realized that I would wipe the floor with his face. It's just, think of the stupidity about what this guy said. First of all, say for instance, any invention. The first thing you're going to realize is everybody invented every invention. Heavier than air flight. Heavier than air flight, the Russians claim they got there first. It was really invented by a man in Brazil most people never fucking heard of. In fact, I'll look the poor bastard up because he killed himself. So, Brazilian, let's look this up. Brazilian, if I can spell it, invented flight. Invented flight. And we'll get the guy's name. Alberto Santos Dumont. Alberto Santos Dumont is shown in a photograph flying a heavier than air aerocraft. And the Brazilian aeronaut, he invented flight before the Russians or the Americans. Then he killed himself when they used it to bomb people in a local war. Threw himself out of the window of his insane asylum, where they had institutionalized him on suicide watch. So he was depressed. His invention was used for destruction. Okay, that guy invented flight, okay? Now, he's the earliest we know of for heavier than air flight in the modern age. Say you talk about television, the British will say, we invented television. And then there's a Mormon guy who supposedly invented television. Every Mormon knows of this guy. I don't know him because I'm not Mormon. But Mormons will tell you the Mormons invented television. But if you really take a look at its first use statewide for a nation state, that's Nazi Germany. So many people will acknowledge the Germans invented television. So basically, when you come down to this, who invented what shit, it's all bullshit anyway. And so the real thing that you go back to is that saying who invented it when, you try to get the earliest guy, you try to give him credit, but in the end, you never really know. And the end result is, you know, everybody invents it at a certain time when the idea is in the noosphere. Once somebody comes up with the idea, hey, we can do this with cathode rays, everybody invents television. When you get the idea that, hey, heavier than air flight is possible, everybody gets to bicycling themselves off a cliff. This is exactly what you get. So when he said what he said, he apparently realized the extraordinary stupidity of what he said and deleted his own question because he knew I was just going to eviscerate his ass with the facts. So he withdrew. But when you might ask about the atomic bomb then, okay, Oppenheimer for the Americans made it basically an applied science. So there is science where Einstein conceptualizes E equals mc squared. Then you get applied science where Oppenheimer physically manifests the explosion every physicist knew was possible. At the same time, the Germans did it, the Japanese did it, and they did it before Oppenheimer. So if anyone invented the goddamn bomb, one thing we know it wasn't fucking Oppenheimer. We know that. So we know it was the Germans and Japanese. So that's who invented.
Well, hopefully, in the movie Christopher Nolan is making, he'll say that.
What's he making?
Oppenheimer.
He's not going to say that. No, he's not going to say that. He might say, Edward Teller took credit for making the bomb, but he didn't make it. Oppenheimer did. That's probably what he's going to say. Just so people know, a lot of Americans were educated thinking, or miseducated, into thinking Edward Teller invented the bomb, but he didn't. Oppenheimer did. But then Oppenheimer went into this bullshit liberal progressive guilt trip because he was trying to maintain his credos with the Communist Party. Just so you know, everybody listening, Oppenheimer was a card-carrying member of the American Communist Party. He was a traitor to his nation, and he did everything he could to make certain the Russians got the goddamn bomb. So you have this idiot who tried to pull this guilt trip saying, oh, if I had known what would happen, I never would have done it bullshit. Meanwhile, let's make sure the communists get it. Just like Einstein was telling Roosevelt, writing letters, you got to work on developing the atomic bomb. By the way, if Einstein is writing letters to Roosevelt, which we have on historical record, telling him to make the goddamn bomb, everyone knows that you can make a bomb. Again, there's no invention. If anyone invented it, it's Einstein. So basically, when we come down to Teller, Edward Teller, who simply took the credit at the time, it's just like what the two Jewish guys, Watson and Crick, did. Watson and Crick ripped off this poor Jewish woman who isolated the helical structure of double-stranded DNA. But the two Jewish guys, Jews being a patriarchal culture, said, fuck it, we're men, we'll steal it from this poor bitch. And they went out and got the Nobel Prize and all the money and took all the credit. And that's, they're kind of like India. It's like you just hope you're not born Jewish if you're a woman. I mean, oh my God. Because, you're really fucked by a bunch of, just to prove my point, if you look at the lifespans of every other culture on Earth, whether you're considering it as a race or a religion, a culture is a combination of both. The man has a shorter lifespan on average than the woman. In any culture, except Jewish culture. In Jewish culture, the man has a longer lifespan of the woman. The only culture where that happens. That's fucked. So it's like India. So it's you're talking about people who think that every time a woman has a period that she's dirty and therefore has to sleep in a different tent. And their equivalent of that in the home in the modern age is the Jewish guy goes around with a folding chair so he doesn't sit on any of the chairs that the woman has been sitting in. It's like who wants seriously, who wants to be part of that? It's like so
Yeah,
stream and OBS disconnected and it's just now reconnecting. It looks like it's about time for me to hang up anyway. But both you guys say
I
good
still
night to
see
everyone. Yeah. And I love you both. Both you gentlemen, love you both like brothers, like sons, and by all means, say goodnight to our listeners and each other, and anything else you want to bring up before we go that you think we should pay attention to, by all means.
Anything, Real Tech? Do you have anything to say, Real Tech?
Support Douglas Dietrich.
Thank you.
It's almost the end of the month.
Yeah.
Yes,
he is our national treasure.
God bless you.
He is our prince and our king.
Thank you. Yes, and thank you for listening, everyone. And please donate anything you can to Douglas. Thank you.
Thank you. To all of you out there, love you all who support me, and my best wishes, and maintain Brooke Gibson and Michelle Carmelo Saldana in thought and prayer. Obviously, both ladies are dealing with a lot. And I want to thank Sammy Romero for the microphone. I'm using the new microphone provided by Sammy Romero. That helped immensely with the latest interview for what the fuck that was worth. And all that being said, everyone do understand whatever comes out, we'll give to Realtek and George Knight right away. Hopefully they can download it, and we'll count on all of you downloading it as well, because it'll probably be scrubbed very shortly after it's uploaded, if it's uploaded at all. Realtek feels it will be, so hopefully it will be. And aside from all of that, we'll keep you all updated. We'll be back on Wednesday, which will be practically tomorrow. And I will be calling Realtek, well, George Knight definitely, after I'm done with the Bulgarians, as we call them. I don't know if they want their names out there, but they're trying to conduct something. And so we'll be dealing with them Tuesday early morning. Nothing to be published, but at least a practice call. And hopefully they'll help me make rent at the end of the month. But if that doesn't happen, I'll just keep you all updated. We'll see what happens. They seem to have been pretty good with their deals so far with others, so there seems to be every reason to trust them. And they seem to be serious about their interview. As it is, this might be what it is in Eastern Europe. We'll do our best to make it available to everyone else, and in the meantime, I'll go back to drowning myself in escorts and boys' blood and alcohol. All right, all of you take care, and
yeah, I see them giving you $1,000.
Thank you. That's what it. You're psychic. You're psychic. I mean, that's yeah. I mean,
Okay.
That's pretty good. That's yeah. We'll talk about that privately later. I'm impressed. That would help me with the rent. That definitely would cover the rent. Because we're still under rent control, thank God.
Okay.
George Knight, say a farewell.
Yes, good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and joining us tonight. And yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you all Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. My best wishes. And by that time, George and I would have talked, and hopefully he joins us on Wednesday. Yeah. And my love to both these wonderful gentlemen and to you all who support us. We're going to close call, and then I'll close stream, or I'll close stream first and then close call. That makes more sense. Actually, because I have to leave anyway, better close the call first and end the stream. All right. Take care. Bye for now. Have a blessed day.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.